Hi everyone. The next 2 weeks we're going to be reading Spreadable Media, Creating Value and Meaning in a Networked Culture. I'm looking forward to doing this with you all, and I hope you all enjoy it too. This presentation is going to be just a little sort of reading guide and intro to it, not full notes on the entire book. We'll get into that as we go through our discussions. As a little bit about the authors first, some of you may have read Henry Jenkins before or heard his name. He's a preeminent scholar of fans and fandom. For the past more than 2 decades, he's pioneered the study of participatory culture, in which consumers co-create media alongside the powerful media conglomerates who generate mediated content. We've talked about that topic before without necessarily naming it participatory culture, but it's something we all live in and with every day. Sam Ford is the PR practitioner in this group. He brings an industry lens to the study of media and helping to draw our attention to the practice of marketing and public relations in what is referred to as our networked culture. And Josh Green is an Australian academic and digital strategist who blends a media studies approach to the practice of PR and marketing. He's an example, sort of like me, who got his PhD, is well-versed in the theory of media studies, but has taken it to the private sector. So as to why you're reading this book and why now in the course. While Jenkins' roots are in cultural studies, this book effectively draws on all of the bodies of theory that you've become familiar with in this class. It brings mass communication and media studies theories and worldviews and blends them with the practice of public relations and marketing, which I know is part of the whole reason for taking this course, to not just study theory, but to make it applicable. The book should be of particular interest to our marketing and PR students, but also to the rest of us who are daily consumers and creators of mediated communication. That's not going to stop for any of us. It offers an optimistic take that at its heart is concerned with public agency. That's you, that's me. And it's easy to read, accessible, and can be seen as the cherry on top of the class, bringing all the themes we've encountered this quarter into a present-day conversation about the media we surround ourselves with every day. The key concept, as it says in the title, is spreadability. Spreadable media refers to the potential, both technical and cultural, for audiences to share content for their own purposes, sometimes with the permissions of rights holders, sometimes against their wishes. That is contrary to or contrasted with stickiness, which complicates the relationship between commercial producers and non-commercial producers. This highlights the way content flows and debunks concepts like memes and going viral. So for week 8, we're going to read the first part of this book. Things to notice and to pay attention to include that the book is written with multiple audiences in mind: media scholars, communication professionals, and creators and sharers of media content. Because of these diverse audiences, the book is presented in an unorthodox way, which is your cue that this isn't an ordinary academic text. For those of you looking for more academic and theoretical treatments of these themes, check out the website spreadablemedia.org. /essays for supplemental readings that may be useful for your final paper or personal development. Also, what do they mean by spreadability? Keep that in mind. Why are they using this concept? What does it achieve for them? And look for theoretical influences throughout the chapters. These aren't explicit, but you'll find them under the surface all over the place. For example, participatory culture is deeply rooted in cultural studies concerns for audiences, while the economics of media consumption is rooted in political economy, and concern about exploitation of audiences draws from critical theory. Finally, the shift from audiences to publics later in the book draws from pragmatists such as Dewey and Bernays. The main themes in this first part are, as we mentioned, spreadability. Then in Chapter 1, how value and meaning are created in today's network culture. Questions of the engagement or exploitation of audience labor. And in Chapter 3, consumer-producer relations and audience engagement. Next week, week 9, we're going to do chapters 4, 5, and 7. Main themes here, in addition to continuing to notice all the theoretical influences from last week and all the weeks prior, is chapter 4, what constitutes meaningful participation. So this is a move from audiences to publics, calling up Dewey again. And what do they have to say about the relationship between spreadable media and democratization? Chapter 5, designing for spreadability. Spreadability can be read as a how-to guide for practitioners, marketers, and activists, and just everyday folks. Chapter 7, transnational spreadability. The importance of transnational media flows, yet their marginalized status remaining. And for this, keep in mind political economy, cultural studies, cultural production, and those thinkers in those camps. These are the references that this is drawn on, that the book will draw on, and I hope we all have a great 2 weeks digging into this text.